Relations between our countries were friendly throughout the whole historical period. Our peoples have common roots. Many historians have told me so. The ancestors of modern Ukrainians came to these lands from ancient Persia and assimilated with local tribes. This historical connection was also underscored by Foreign Minister Pavlo Klimkin in Tehran during a meeting with the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Hassan Rouhani, and Foreign Affairs Minister Mohammad Zarif. The festive table on the Iranian Nowruz holiday and the Ukrainian Easter share common features. The Easter eggs, which are also placed on the Iranian table. The history of the Nowruz holiday goes back thousands of years. The main purpose of this holiday is renewal. This holiday comes on the day of the vernal equinox and corresponds to the first day of the Iranian calendar Farvardin. It is a festival of spring when the nature comes alive. The coming of Nowruz is calculated to within a second. In addition to Iran, this holiday is celebrated in 11 more countries: Azerbaijan, Albania, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Macedonia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Turkey and Uzbekistan. At the appointed time, everyone sits at the table, where 7 items are placed, the names of which begin with the Iranian letter Sin. The green shoots of wheat are a symbol of financial well-being. An apple is a symbol of a new life. And the Sanjit plant symbolizes good feelings. Also vinegar, coins, garlic and a mirror. All these items have their positive meanings. Of course, there is a Quran on the table, and a candle is burning as a symbol of divine revelation. I see many similarities in the culture of our peoples. Even the greeting words, Dobry den, greetings in Ukrainian, correspond to the Iranian greeting Salam, from the word Salamat, health. Back when I was a teenager, I was impressed by the film The 41st by a Ukrainian filmmaker from Melitopol, Hirori Chukrai. It shows the struggle of the Ukrainian people for a better future by the example of the main heroine, a brave Ukrainian girl. Similarities can be found even in the religions that our countries profess. Ukrainians often go to church, just like Iranians go to the mosque. Moreover, our peoples have a tradition of visiting the tombs with the relics of the saints and worshipping them there. And women entering the holy place, both Muslim and Orthodox women, always cover their heads with shawls. Looking at the altar, the devout touch the icons. All of that is very similar to the worship in Iranian mosques. As for our economic and political ties, my opinion is that they are now experiencing an unprecedented flourishing. Iran was one of the first to recognize the independence of Ukraine. It happened on December the 25th, 1991. And in the beginning of 1992, we opened the embassy here. Our first ambassador was appointed to this post very quickly. And just a week after his arrival, the President of Ukraine, Kravchuk, made his first visit to Iran. That shows the seriousness of the intentions of the Islamic Republic of Iran towards Ukraine. And today these intentions are serious like never before. The government of the Islamic Republic of Iran today intends to actively develop relations with all countries around the world, including Ukraine, more than the previous leaders. And as I pointed out in my reports to my leadership, the present government of Ukraine is much more serious than the previous one regarding the development of relations with Iran. In the 2.5 years of my mission in Ukraine, the 11-year break in holding meetings of the Intergovernmental Departmental Commission for Trade and Economic Cooperation has ended. The fifth meeting of the Commission was held in March 2016 in Tehran. And exactly 1 year later, in March 2017, Iran and Ukraine gathered again to discuss economic prospects. In September 2015, a delegation of 80 people visited the head of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Ukraine in Iran. And last year was marked by the visits of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Energy to Iran. In October 2016, Mr. Rahimpour, a Deputy Foreign Minister of the Islamic Republic of Iran, paid a visit. The result of that visit was the establishment of the Committee for Joint Political Consultations between the two countries. Also, working groups on transport, energy and cooperation in other areas have been formed. In addition, the trade turnover between our countries increased last year. And thanks to joint efforts this year, we also expect that the trend of growth in trade will continue. The main products of Iranian imports are grains and sunflower oil. Also parts and components of various industries, in particular aircraft construction. We also have other programs for the development of interrelations between our countries. One of them concerns the agricultural sector, as well as the implementation of Iranian investments in the agro-industrial complex of Ukraine. The crafts and art of our countries also have a lot in common. This is the subject of my interest, and I always try to visit markets where objects of arts and crafts and antiques are sold. For example, classical Persian painting on glass is very common in Iran, and Ukrainian craftsmen have long been painting on wood. Iran is known for its miniatures, and Ukraine for its amber crafts. Our peoples make decorative dishes from metal, from copper in Iran, and from bronze in Ukraine. There is also a lot of common ground in art. Ukraine itself is a beautiful landmark. Just like the whole of Iran is a collection of cultural heritage. Many cultural monuments of Iran in recent years have been included in the list of UNESCO World Heritage and National Heritage Sites. There are many holy places in Iran that attract Muslims and people from other regions. There are temples and churches in Ukraine, and Iranians feel cultural pleasure when they get to know these monuments more closely. I was personally very interested in Ukrainian architecture and memoirs of the Ukrainian historical past that are more than 300 to 400 years old. In addition, Ukraine is rich in natural attractions. These are beautiful rivers and picturesque landscapes. I find the coasts of our seas, the Black and Azov Seas in Ukraine, and the Caspian Sea and Persian Gulf in Iran, very similar in nature. There are a lot of mountain regions in Iran, represented by the Carpathians in Ukraine. Therefore, there are many opportunities for the development of skiing in our countries, and also mountaineering in Iran. My Ukrainian friends have visited our country, and they've had wonderful experiences. The image of Iran that is being formed by some media is completely different from reality. Iran today is a very stable country and the safest one in the Middle East. Much to our regret, our neighboring countries now suffer from terrorists and attackers who want to destabilize the situation in the region. Iran is making every effort to prevent the spread of terrorism and is cooperating with the neighboring states as much as possible to eradicate it. Also, there are many mausoleums and tombs in Iran of artists like the outstanding poets Sadi and Hafez in Shiraz, Omar Khayyam in the city of Nishapur, and Avicenna in Haradar. I really like these poems myself. Hafiz's poetry is soaked with mysticism and desire for knowledge. Sadi is known as the unsurpassed master of Eastern love lyrics. One of Sadi's poems I would hang at the entrance to each building, because those words prompt good deeds. The main idea of this verse is that it is necessary to apply efforts regardless of the result. And in another parable, he proves the unity of all people and preaches the need for compassion for others. The sons of Adam are members of one body. They are created from one nature. If one of them is suddenly hit with pain, the others will not be left alone either. If people heeded these words, all the meaningless wars would have stopped and peace would have reigned.